basically the idea is you have to have this keyframes rule,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have this um, at symbol in front of it. So that
Mm-hmm.
basically signifies that this is a rule.
Okay.
And the way it works is you just create this name.
Mm-hmm.
So I created this name called movex, and then you specify the uh, from and to. So
Mm-hmm.
you can say from and to, or you can use percentages. You can say 0% to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically just saying when the animation is going to begin. It's basically
Yeah.
saying what's going to happen when the animation begins and what's going to happen when the animation ends. It doesn't say how long it's going to last.
Mm-hmm.
It's just telling you what is going to be affected and what's going to change. So in this example, it's changing background position X.
Mm-hmm.
And all this is going to do is going to move something horizontally in the background position. You're going in the X direction because you have X here. You can also go in the Y direction.
So all this is doing is taking because I saw your I already I went through all your actually I went through all your videos
Uh-huh.
today I think and then so this is saying that your comic strip that you made like this one it's just rotating like that like if I put it in a cylinder it's all it's doing is taking it from this
Yeah,
section to this to this to this to this and it starts over to this to this to this to this frame by frame.
yeah. This is the example of doing frame by frame animation
Mm-hmm.
using a style sheet.
Okay, because what I got confused like how so when you did the box example, is that still animation and still under keyframes?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can change this now. So this is affecting background position, but let's
Mm-hmm.
say you wanted to just um, change the color of something.
Mm-hmm.
So animate it from one color to the next. So I'll change this. So I'll make this box, and what I'll do too is I will bring the little sprite character side by side, so you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of see the changes happening. And with this, I'll bring it side by side here. So this little character here, though, first,
Mm-hmm.
just to show you, it's moving in increments of 10, and that's where steps comes in. So if you change steps, it's going to affect it. And at 10 increments, it's moving at 50 pixels every single time because it has a width of 50. You
Mm-hmm.
multiply that by 10, and then you get this number here, 500. And it's going from right to left. So it's going in that direction. So if you look at the actual artwork in Photoshop, so let me find it's where is Photoshop here? So if you look at this in Photoshop, I'm sorry. So this is what the sprite strip looks like in Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I have the ruler set up here, so you can actually, see the measurement. I'd set the pixels. If I right click on this ruler, set the pixels.
Mm-hmm.
If I drag this out, you see it's set here. I'll drag a ruler here at the beginning, so you see you have 500 pixels. That's 500, and then you could let's see. It's going in set increments here. Um, of 50. So there's the one section. So you can kind of measure. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So you can kind of measure out the sections if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, so 50, 50. I could add another guide. So you can literally see that these are spaced 50 increments apart. So that's using this sprite strip example. And you can make your own sprite strip. You create a Photoshop file, you give it a width. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say you want to have it go even longer or do a lot more than just wave. So
Mm.
you could create something that's 1,000 pixels, and if it's still
Oh.
going in 10 increments, then it's just going to last longer. If you look at the code, if I doubled this sprite strip,
Hmm.
all I would want to do is just make sure I change this background position here, this X
Hmm.
position, to negative 1,000.
Hmm.
So that's, the position is telling the strip how to move.
Hmm.
You could actually go in the positive direction as well if you wanted to, and then it would just move in reverse.
Oh, so it doesn't really. So the negative and positive is just purely how you want it to present it. It doesn't have to be one. It can be either way.
Yeah, so for
Okay.
example, here he's going here, um, and it's in this space, it's like in this imaginary space. You could actually kind of see the space if you wanted to by um, making your body of your page, give it a style with a background color.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, you're not going to see it because it's transparent. So it's,
Okay.
yeah, you're not going to know the difference. Um, but uh,
But you're saying if you had given it a background color, you would see it move.
yeah, if this
Okay.
bright strip had a background color, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. But
Yeah. No.
yeah, you would see it in contrast to the background of the body of the web page itself.
Got
Um,
it. I
Let me
think.
go back here. So let's say it's at
Mhm.
negative 500.
Yeah.
So it's moving from right to left. And if I
Hmm.
change this to positive, it's not going to ruin the animation. It's just going to reverse it. So I hit save, and you can't even tell, but see now it's at 500. Now it's moving the other way. So you
Oh, I
can't
see a little bit.
yeah, yeah. So that's all that's doing. Now, if I do something really weird, like let's say I change this background position to 100, hit save. Now you can kind of see what's happening. Instead of moving of increments of 50,
Hmm.
now it's moving of increments of 10. And you ruin the animation in a way, but you just create a different effect.
How did I don't understand. So when you put it to 100 pixels, it's moving by an increment of how much again?
It's based on the number of steps. So
Hmm.
now you're moving it at increments of 10 pixels. So see how it's split? See how it's kind of split?
Oh, so you take the pixels, divide that by the amount of steps, and then you'll
Yeah.
see how many times how much is moving.
Yeah, so it's kind
Okay.
of it's not flowing because it's not moving in these 50 increments where the animation is divided up.
Mhm.
So it's not flowing like it should. So you kind of ruin the effect of the animation by
Okay.
not having the proper setting. So you just have to know if you're using a sprite strip,
Hmm.
you're always going to be using background position X
Hmm.
as the thing that you're changing, and then the units here should always be set to the same exact size of the width of
Hmm.
the sprite strip.
Okay.
So you just got to make sure you're setting it at the same exact size there. So
Okay.
if your strip is 500 pixels long, you want to make sure that you're moving it from 0 to 500.
Hmm.
And the other key is the steps here. So you're going to move it in increments. Um, so it is moving at something that's divisible by the amount of each individual character within the sprite strip itself. And if you counted these, you would have 10 here. So I don't even need to count it. I know it's 10. So the other way to think about it too is for every little thing that you're animating inside, that's going to be the number of steps.
Hmm.
So if you have 10 little characters, make sure it's 10. If you had 20, because here too, if I change this to 5, let's say, it's going to shorten it. It's only going to go up 5 steps, and you're not going to have the full wave. So if you look at it now, and actually it's slowing it down too.
It's going every other frame, right?
Um, no, it's just going up to 2. It's just going up to
Oh, like to the halfway point.
yeah, it's just going to 250 pixels and stopping.
Okay.
Like 36. Well, now it's not divisible, so it's kind of doing the
Okay.
same thing if I shorten the background position.
Got it.
So that's how you just, this is how you do like some sort of character animation
Hmm.
with this
But
right strip technique.
so what's the better? So when would you? So how do you separate this? Like when should you do a GIF and when should you do the strip? Like what are the advantages and disadvantages of going either way?
Uh, the advantage of doing it in code is you could technically do some other things with this. Like you create a button, you push the
Hmm.
button, and then it animates. Um,
Okay.
so you could kind of play around with some more coding techniques.
Oh, so it's more interactive for the user
Yeah,
if
you
you
can
didn't code.
yeah, you can make it more interactive. Uh,
Oh.
so if you decide to take it a step further, you could probably use JavaScript to create like an off and on button, do other things with it.
Okay.
Uh, so you can. There's a lot more flexibility like this, but it's more complicated in terms of the creation process because you do have
Hmm.
to code it.
Okay.
But technically, yeah, it's relatively the same thing as, in a way, as creating a GIF.